Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My brothers and sisters, just before we start, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to my channel. If you're not yet subscribed, then make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our amazing videos. And also, if you find any benefit in this video, then make sure you hit the like button. So, my brothers and sisters, today I'm going to be sharing with you an amazing narration about how angels appeared as lions to protect a righteous old man from thieves. It asks a very amazing story which shows the power of Allah Almighty and how Allah Almighty takes care of His righteous people. There are a lot of lessons we can learn from this narration. And by the way, the source of this narration is a book called Ol, which means the marvelous explanation. It's actually a very famous book which contains a lot of amazing stories about the prophets, peace be upon them, and the companions of the Word, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, as well as the Tabi'in, the righteous predecessors who came after the companions. So, this book contains a lot of amazing stories. This particular one is the story of an old man whose name was Hudayfa bin al-Yaman. So, he was an old righteous man. He used to perform his prayers on time. He used to pay his zakat. In fact, he was very, very generous with what he had. He used to give a lot of charity. He was very kind, very helpful. But the only problem is that because he was old, he couldn't really walk very far to the mosque. So, he would perform his fard prayer in his house. But he would go to the Jumu'ah and the Eid prayers. But apart from that, all the other prayers, he would perform them in his house. So, this man, may Allah Almighty have mercy on him, he was living in a house, and he had a date palm tree in front of his house, and thieves knew about that. So, every time he wanted to go out, they would lie in wait for him, hoping that he would come out so that they could attack him and steal his money, because he used to carry his savings with him. He used to carry it in order to give charity to those who asked him for it. So, he always had some money with him. So, these thieves were lying in wait for him. On the day of the incident, when the old man came out, Subhanahu wa ta'ala, the thieves attacked him. They overpowered him, and they took all of his money. But subhanallah, when they were taking him towards his house, because his house was close to the mosque, so they were taking him towards his house, thinking that, okay, now let's take him to his house, thinking that maybe there is more money inside the house. Suddenly, the old man turned around and said to them, "Stay away, stay away." They said, "What do you mean? We have already taken your money. Now, we want to search your house as well." He said, "Stay away, stay away." Then, suddenly, two lions appeared, and they started roaring loudly. The lions started chasing these thieves, And subhanallah, they chased them all the way until they left the town. So, these thieves ran away empty-handed. They didn't get anything from the house. As for the old man, he was very happy. He thanked Allah Almighty for sending help to him through these lions. So, the question here is, how did these lions appear? What is the secret behind this? So, according to the scholars, these are two angels. Allah Almighty sent two angels to help this righteous old man. Why? Because he was a righteous man who performed his prayers, who gave charity. He was a very good person, even though he was old and he couldn't go to the mosque to perform his prayers. So Allah Almighty loves to bless His righteous people. Allah Almighty loves to help His righteous people. So Allah Almighty sent two angels to help him. But how did these angels appear? So, according to another narration, and this is reported by Imam Ahmad and others. In this narration, the old man, when he was leaving his house, he actually saw the angels. He saw them in their true form. So, he said, "Oh Allah, help me." So, that's why when the thieves attacked him, Allah Almighty sent help to him in the form of lions, which happened to be angels. Now, what are the lessons we can learn from this story? First lesson, my brothers and sisters, is that Allah Almighty loves to bless His righteous people. Allah Almighty loves to help His righteous people. And Allah Almighty says in the Quran, "He who obeys Allah and His Messenger and does good shall have no fear, nor shall he grieve." That means Allah will help him. Allah will ease his matter. Allah will remove whatever difficulty he is facing. So, just imagine if this old man was not a righteous person, if he was not someone who performed his prayers, who gave charity, who was good to people, then Allah Almighty would not have helped him. So, we need to remember that Allah Almighty loves to bless His righteous people. And Allah Almighty says, "O humanity, indeed, I created you from a male and a female and made you into peoples and tribes so that you may get to know one another. Surely, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous among you." So Allah Almighty does not look at your color, at your status, at your wealth, at your lineage, at your tribe. No, Allah Almighty looks at your actions. Allah Almighty looks at your deeds. So, if you want Allah Almighty to help you, if you want Allah Almighty to bless you, then you need to be righteous. You need to worship Allah Almighty. You need to obey Allah Almighty. And that is how Allah Almighty will help you. The second lesson we can learn from this story is that Allah Almighty has complete control over everything. Nothing happens without the permission of Allah Almighty. So, these thieves, when they attacked the old man, they thought they were strong. They thought they were powerful. But they didn't know that actually they were actually dealing with the power of Allah Almighty. So, if Allah Almighty wants to help someone, then no one can stop that. And if Allah Almighty wants to punish someone, then no one can stop that. And the third lesson we can learn from this story is to learn from the old man. When the thieves attacked him, they overpowered him. They took his money. They actually beat him up. But what did he do? Did he get upset? Did he swear? Did he say bad things? Did he lose hope in Allah Almighty? No. Instead, when they were going towards his house, he told them to stay away from his house. And, subhanallah, he actually, despite his old age, he actually stood up to these thieves. He showed some courage. And Allah Almighty says, "And do not surrender to despair, for in Allah there is always hope." So, this old man, he didn't surrender to despair. Rather, he placed his trust in Allah Almighty, and Allah Almighty helped him. So, whenever you are facing a difficult situation, whenever you are facing a challenge, don't lose hope in Allah Almighty. Rather, be patient. Ask Allah Almighty for help, and Allah Almighty will definitely help you. So may Allah Almighty bless us all. Mighty help us. And may Allah Almighty make us from those who seek help in Allah Almighty and those whom Allah Almighty helps. And I ask Allah Almighty to forgive me and to forgive you. And I seek refuge in Allah from Shaitan, the accursed.